Starting. We're live.
Hey, hey.
Now, let's see if anybody wants to join. I'm curious, once people do join, if anything will show up in this chat window or not.
Yeah.
I'm actually going over to the YouTube and see, I'm going to type something in there. Cool. Oh, Big Daddy. Hey, somebody's here. What's up, man?
By the way, I got this tip from AKAR Life. They said that apparently there's live chat trolls out there, and those little wrenches, this was all new to me. Those wrenches are like to make people moderators so they can watch the comments while like I can be one. That way you don't have to worry about it while you're trying to run the show. But that's what those wrenches apparently mean.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I wonder, and the chat doesn't show up in the Google Hangouts. Hey, everybody who's joining. Let's see here. Paste new moderators channel URL. Oh, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now.
Okay, yeah, we didn't have an issue.
Hey, Lone Star Rider. You guys are doing all right tonight. We're just chilling, hanging out, doing a little Q&A.
There we go. Sorry, I had to open up the chat window myself.
Yeah, I had to basically just open it up through the YouTube window and then just ignore the video because it's going to be all not timing.
Yeah.
So you're off grid. How exactly are you up for off grid yet online? Hey there, Zorb, self-reliance. So what's on the agenda to talk about today?
Hey, I have no agenda. This is your show. I'm the co-host this time. So.
You're the co-host. All right. Well, I got new channel stickers. These came in. Let's see if I can figure out a way to get this to focus. Okay, so there we go. So I had those made. Had a handful of them. Kind of excited about that. So
yeah, I thought they turned out good. Who'd you get them made through?
U printing.
Okay.
Just like letter U printing.com.
I'll have to check them out. The place I go through, they wind up being from Canada, so I always get an international fee when I order them.
Yeah. That shirt deal you got going on. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how that's all working? You got one on right now, so that's cool.
Yeah, shameless self-plug. So it was one of those things for after losing monetization, I thought, well, this might be another channel, a way to open up a chance to make some money. And yeah, so it's through spreadshirt.com. And I think it's much like YouTube where there's like a backslash involved and then straight six fan. But I think there's some hyphens in there as well. But yeah. I'll leave a link in the wait, I don't know if you can you do links in the chat? I might do a link in the chat.
You can, but the chat doesn't save. If you want to throw it in the comments after we finish, then people get it from there.
That's a good idea. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with them. Now you can't, the only downside is that you can't add text to them when you open the shop, or if you can, I haven't figured that out. So this one I made for myself without, this was my prototype shirt, and I had, so for one off, I was going to put the channel URL and stuff on the back, but for whatever reason, I can't do that in my shop. So it's kind of weird.
Was it all just images that you can load?
Yeah, at the moment, that's what. So anyway, got to do some more research on that.
Yeah,
I even did it.
You could make an image and save it as a JPEG or something with the text.
Yeah, Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
Cool. Yeah.
anyway,
I saw that site and I'm kind of curious to do that myself. And, like I've never really been in the whole YouTube thing for the money because honestly, like I've only had it for like a year now. And I just didn't really expect to make money out of it. But when the whole 1,000 subscriber, 4,000 hour thing came around, I was like, like I'm just gonna see what I can do. And I a lot closer than I thought I would as far as subscribers go. My watch time's pretty low though comparatively. Um, but as far as figuring out other ways to generate some sort of revenue, whatever, I'm working on a website so I can try to get some swag or whatever up there. But when I saw your shirts, I was like, oh, I asked about that because being able to order one at a time and people just being able to buy them one at a time is pretty cool rather than having to order 500 shirts and have a garage full of boxes and mail them out and all that jazz.
yeah, that's the sweet part is that so I just create the design and then you order the shirt through the website. And so, they keep the inventory. I don't have any of it. So it's a pretty slick deal. Now I probably should have done more research on it. I think there's probably other alternatives out there. But like you have to put a price on your artwork, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think people could actually just buy the logo and throw it on their own shirt through Spreadshirt as well. And so if this like design blows up now, so every time somebody uses that, I get like $3 for it. But if some like Supra club makes a 2JZ shirt and everybody falls in love with it, like that's I was the one who came up with this, so I don't know. There might be some other websites out there that protect against that better.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in the comments here, and my computer wants to not play nice with me. So this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to overlay the windows here so I can see more real-time video and see the comments. There we go. Got it sized now. Good to go. Hey, what's up, Chaos Garage? Saw you join there. Just sneaking in under the radar. I guess not. So you been playing with the old TIG torch, huh?
Yeah, yeah. With a little more success some days than than others. So
yeah, I saw on Instagram that you had posted a couple pictures of the front of the cart, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's turning out good. And actually, my video goes up at 8:30 tonight. So I decided that's kind of been my new policy now that I'm not trying to just hammer out content every day. Is just it was only 3 days a week through that weird period. It's just if YouTube's got the tool, use the tool they give you. And since they have the opportunity to do the scheduled upload, I figure, I can try to hit this as long as I get my stuff edited ahead of time. Every Sunday from now on out, it'll go out at 8:30 Central. So anyway, this is going to be a really long one because I did a lot of work spread out over like 3 days, and I don't like doing long videos, but this is the first time I've gone over that 15-minute mark ever. But I think hopefully if there was a time to do it, this was the time to do it. So
cool. Yeah, I've got videos everywhere from, I think my very first one was like 15 seconds, and then some that are far longer. I think even over a half an hour or something like that. I just loaded one working on the drone that was like 20 some odd minutes, but I figure, if somebody wants to skip around or watch any of it or all of it, whatever.
Yeah.
Because even when it comes to like monetization, if it ever gets back to that point, then it doesn't, to my understanding, really matter if you only have 2% watch time as long as they watch.
Yeah. And I just think about myself, like all the videos I typically watch versus the ones I don't. And it seems like 6 minutes is like that nice sweet spot of where most people, my average time is like 2 minutes. in my analytics, but I try not to go. I try to stay in that 6 to 8 minute range as much as possible.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, I've been using the whole scheduling too. In fact, yesterday I edited 3 videos. I posted one yesterday and had it scheduled, one for this morning, the mail call, and then I've got another one I think scheduled for Wednesday.
Yeah, I've got one that I'm going to schedule tonight to get out on Tuesday, since I'm trying to keep myself to only produce things on Sundays right now for the next 4 or 5 weeks. But
yeah, it's been so rainy and crappy outside that I haven't been up to our usual shenanigans other than cleaning the yard. So it's given me time to just sit here and play around with it. And I've really gone like deep on this whole drone thing. I ordered everything for an FPV racer last night, and I'm excited for that.
yeah, man, that will be some fun for sure.
Yeah.
And we had.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we had nasty weather too yesterday. It's sunny and like 50 today, which was just warm enough to keep the garage door open, and but it was just no wind, so we finally got. I mean, I'm calling that nice weather for the time being. Yeah,
I mean it was it started off about 60 something degrees. It's over 70 right now. The temperature here isn't ever really a big deal, but just the wind and rain suck.
Yeah, it just makes for that stuff gets old. I mean, my Jeep's all nasty, which actually it's up on eBay right now, and that auction closes in I think like an hour. So we'll see if anybody buys that.
Well, 17 degrees. Where are you, Big Daddy? What state are you in? Yeah, so the FPV racer, man, like I love just learning new stuff. I like learning about anything. I think that's why I have so many hobbies. And so when I came to doing the drone build, I decided to do the research and pick my own electronics, and I'll have to solder up all the boards and speed controllers and motors and all that, fun stuff. And should have that here in a couple of days. So I don't know how long it'll take to get a video up, because I'm sure there's going to be some choice words while doing it. I won't do it live.
Have you tested the new camera out on the drone?
On the new one, no, I haven't yet. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds yesterday and rainy today, so I got a chance to play with it. Yeah, I had one on it that was very similar. It just the new one's lighter, but the one that I had on it, I don't know if I fried it messing around with the electronics or if one of my little hard landings messed it up. So I ordered that other one. That's yet another thing that I've been doing with the whole trying to make a dime here or there is the affiliate links, and who knows what'll come of it. But I've had a handful of purchases already. So
I may need to ask you some questions about that, because I've had that for a long time, and I just checked my analytics over there, and I've had a ton of clicks, but nobody's bought anything. I just figure like at some point somebody would have got lost on Amazon and bought something, not necessarily what I'm putting out there, but I'm wondering if I just like didn't check the right final box or something.
I think what happens a lot of the time is somebody can click your link, and then if they click to search something else and then click that product again, it's no longer that. Like they have to immediately like purchase from that.
Okay. So like the second
they go like if you had a flashlight, and then in the suggested, people who buy this also buy this, and it shows 10 other flashlights. If they click on one of those and then click I don't think the back button, but if they click that same product and go back to the one that you had linked, it won't be your URL anymore. so it doesn't count.
I got you. I just figured though, like somebody would have at least gone to the next step and bought something that wasn't, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
what's up, guys? Anybody have any questions for either Grant or myself?
I mean, in the meantime, I'll just
in the chat.
a little spoiler alert for some stuff that's going to come up on the my video. So I finally bought a metal scribe. It's probably long overdue, but so those photos you saw on Instagram were enhanced by that. Some 5-pack of center punches, and those are affiliate linked and will be affiliate linked in my next video. And a centering drill bit. Now these, I guess, are normally what like electricians use for conduit boxes and stuff, or whatever they got to cut through the sheet metal. And so it's more like a hole saw. This is like the center. It's a carbide tip, but I guess machinists like swear by these things. They worked pretty slick. They cut really nice. So
that's cool. I just burned through a ton of Harbor Freight drill bits whenever. It's like, hey, for like a nickel a piece, I could just break these things left and right.
Yeah, this stuff was all like, so my Discover card, I can link my cashback bonuses to Amazon Cash. And so like, I think I didn't spend a single dime because I just use my credit card for everything anymore. And right now they have 5% cashback on like gas stations. So just every time I fill up with gas, I use the Discover card. And I mean, I don't think any one of these things was more than $17. Most of them were like in the 11 to 14. I think one was 11, one was 14. Anyway, I thought they're pretty good prices for everything. Yeah.
So Ignited Garage says, what do you think of a Viper V10 motor in a Honda S2000? Well, what do I think? I think it'll be hard to fit. That's my first thought. What are you going to do? Like chop the hood off and put a Lincoln front end on it? I don't even know how you get those two together.
That's insane. That's like a Viper motor and a Miata. I mean, jeez.
You have pictures, and hey, different strokes for different folks. I mean, if you just want to go fast, that sure as hell is a way to do it. Light and big horsepower.
I see Chaos Garage just followed the both of us on Instagram, and yeah, I'll self-admittedly, I've been late to the game. I mean, I've probably only had it for 2 weeks now, and that was just again during the partner program stuff. I thought, hey, if there was a time to up my game, now's the time. So
cool. Yeah, I just recently. Hey, I've had Instagram for a little while, but I didn't really use it. And then got the Facebook group, and then I think last week I just made a Twitter, just basically all for the same thing, just trying to grow, and more shares help.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I even follow Ignited Garage. I see there's a Power Stroke and a Skyline is the next wild mashup that his buddy has. So,
that'd be pretty cool.
That sounds insane.
Rolling coal in a Skyline.
That would be totally unexpected. Have you seen the what is it? There's like a Charger that's got a Cummins in it, and then a Duramax Camaro that someone built both of them. Have you seen that?
I don't know. Doesn't ring a bell.
It's somewhere on. I think if you just search on YouTube, it'll probably be on the first. It was funny because they took the Cummins Charger like to CarMax or something to get it appraised, and they just didn't know what to do with it because what the heck is this? And it was just really funny watching the guy like.
I've seen a couple
obviously didn't know
kind of like that where people have like just straight up race cars with $20,000-$30,000 under the hood, and they take it to CarMax and they're like, we can give you $17,000.
That's actually if my Jeep doesn't sell here in a matter of hours, that I might resort to the CarMax. I'm just kind of. Somebody came and looked at it yesterday, and the guy he asked a lot of really good questions, but then I got at the end of the test drive, I got I'm gonna have to have some time to think about it a bit, and just kind of felt like, yeah, he's probably not gonna not gonna buy it. Which, I mean, that's okay. It's not for everyone. He was saying he's was a TDI like Jetta guy, or had a wagon or a Passat or something, and he really liked that. And he was also a Jeep guy, so he was really intrigued by these things, but he didn't necessarily like need a car right now. So that was kind of where that is.
That's cool. Yeah, right on. I'm guessing you're Ken. Sorry, I didn't know your first name offhand, but I just got the video. I'll check it out here soon. So, are you still contemplating that? I can't even remember what kind of pickup. A truck or?
Yeah, it's like, so the V6 Mustang is still, the 2011 to 2016 V6 Mustang is still really tempting. They have a kind of a cult following, but I know as soon as I don't get a truck, then I'll want to like remodel my house and be like, dang it, I need a truck.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, James? Thanks for joining in. And Grant.
Yeah, James isn't but like 40 to 50 minutes from me, so.
Oh, not far at all.
Yeah, I'll have to meet up with him sometime. Him and Hard Knocks Garage.
It's pretty wild. I never knew how many YouTubers there really were, but there's been a handful of people that have basically just found their channels and realized, oh crap, you live like 2 miles away from me.
Yeah, Craig, I see you hating on the 2011 style. It took me a while to get to like him. I didn't like the way the back tail lights chamfered instead of kept straight like the 2010s, but yeah, I'm kind of with you. They grew on me though, and it's just the man, those 305 horsepower, 25, 26, 27 mile to the gallon combination is really hard to.
I've never been a fan of Mustangs. Not anything against the Ford guy, whatever, because I've got a Ford at 150, but just none of them ever really struck me. James,
yeah, I mean, there's
his son wants to build a bug with a big Harley Davidson. That kind of reminds me of there was a channel, Colin Peruse or something like that, and he put like a 600cc motorcycle in a motorcycle engine in a hover round, or like the little or something.
I'm sure you've seen like the Hayabusa motor in the smart car.
The smart car, yeah.
The 2010s are good looking vehicles. There's no way I would do anything but a V8 in the 2010s though. That's for sure, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a muscle car without muscle.
Yeah, that's the.
And I guess that's kind of like where part of my, like, I wouldn't say dislike. I don't dislike Mustang, and never was really into them. But part of my thing is that they made so many like low end that they may as well have been a Honda Accord, and it's like, well,
yeah. Yeah, no, they're just it's just that, again, it's that performance and mileage combo. Nothing against, like, I'll own a V8 someday, but it's just for a daily driver kind of a thing. And they have a cult following, the 3.7. There's actually a whole YouTube channel on that, and there's guys running like 12s in these things with, not much more than like the most. Outside of gears and like ported intakes are like the most tricky parts. Everything else is bolt-ons. So I guess slicks too. You have to have slicks to do that, but I don't know. So
383 stroker. That sounds pretty cool. I like the Chevelles. So, Mr. Mach 1, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Gary. What's going on, my YouTube friends, as he'd say.
Yeah. So the cart, like, what kind of timeline you looking at? Are you thinking till being rolling hardcore?
It should be like mid-April is what it should be, but you know those things always take longer than. So I bought I should have grabbed this from the garage, and it's on Instagram as well. I've got a billet connecting rod, which suppose he's gonna let me remove the governor on the 5-horse without fragging everything. It's supposed to be stronger, lighter weight, that kind of thing. So I need to fix the steering. So this axle is going to fix the steering, and you get new tires for the front. I want to TIG weld I bought a bunch of Harley gas caps. This is from way back when, that I was going to turn them into like little moon caps. So her center caps for all my wheels. I want to put a torque converter on the thing so it's got better acceleration. I need to redo the chains on the side, and I kind of want to do a custom exhaust. So I got a lot of things planned,
fun stuff to get in there with.
But yeah, so if I find a real project car in the meantime, I'm sure I'll probably set that thing aside.
Yeah, you know, I've obviously got the satellite, and I like tinkering around on it all the time. And you know, sometimes I'll come out here and take lunch because I work from home. I'll take lunch, come out here and hang around on it for a couple minutes. And then, you know, it might go a week or two that I don't do anything. And with so many other hobbies, the end is seemingly further and further away. Hey, what's up, Juan? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, welcome, Juan. I don't know what James is after on the cheap ass. Hey, Drive Chef Drew, welcome, man. I was just gonna buy normal tires. I don't know. They're go-kart tires. Come on.
I haven't looked in depth at the front end you're doing. Is it all rigid, or do you have any kind of suspension rolling in it?
There's no suspension at the time. I mean, I might, if I figure out some sort of good system. I don't know if George, the Shade Tree Fix It man's got a front suspension. I might build in. I kind of wanted to when I did the first axle, but it's just, it's kind of like you got to find the right sort of novelty things just pop up to be like, hey, that would work. That'd be good for. But I'm not really gonna. I don't know. I'm not gonna go out of my way to make it happen.
Yeah. So Ignited said, how do you guys stay motivated to make videos? And I don't really know. I enjoy it, I guess. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it. So I guess the main thing to stay motivated is I've got something to do, and hopefully somebody else wants to look at it.
Yeah, no, I saw that question. I thought that's a great question, actually. And I think if you followed my channel long enough, like, you'll know, like, there'll just be periods you get burnt out and you got to take a break. But that's like the beauty is you're sort of like self-employed with this thing, so you can start and stop whenever you want. I try to be as consistent as possible for as long as possible because YouTube notices that stuff. But it's actually almost like the reverse for me, is where I find, like, especially now that I've sort of committed to getting back on the Rat Rod Radio Flyer, is that having to put out a weekly video almost keeps me accountable to the project, to where it's like, if I don't go out there and actually do something on the project, like, the video is going to suck this week. So it's actually like, it helps me just get off my arse from behind the computer screen and get out and actually do what I know I like doing, working with my hands, but I don't do it enough. So in a backwards way, it's like the projects motivate me to do the videos.
Yeah. And Craig says he wants to get motivated, but he keeps running out of time. And, there's definitely truth to that, because something that takes 15 minutes, if you're going to do a video on it, I probably spend 45 total because it's probably twice as much time for doing the filming and whatever. And then editing, and editing always just takes me the longest, even though I don't really edit that well. But
Yeah.
I just use like crappy Windows Movie Maker and, you know, cut and trim and paste and throw some fades in there and whatever. So we record a bunch of bits. Yeah. James, we were talking kind of about that a little bit. There's now that there's the scheduling feature, just putting videos out there and then scheduling them for release. So yesterday, I edited 3 videos, had one release yesterday, one today, and I've got one scheduled for Wednesday.
Yeah, Mr. Rock 1 says he just skips the editing part. So there's a solution there too.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people do, and that totally works, but I don't know. I like doing at least a little bit of finishing touches on the rough edges.
But Craig, I wanted to get back to kind of what you said. It's I guess my advice to you is just figure out what consistent schedule is comfortable for you. That might be once a month. It might be, I used to do every other week, and someday I'd like to go back to that. Really, like when you build the channel to a certain size, you can stop putting out content so regularly. I'll keep talking here as Yoshi's stepping away for a second, but just figure out what works for you, and then work on your own schedule. And then, there's no shame in kind of batch producing, as they say. And then, it might work out that you have more free time at the first, the front end of everything. And then you might get really busy for 2 weeks. But if you do the batch producing, then you can get stuff out on that monthly schedule. So anyway, Yoshi had to go for round 2.
Yeah, I needed a refill on my beer. Yeah, speaking of like monetization, because I hate the new monetization thing. I actually made a sale off of one of my videos. So, well, actually Emily's video. So Emily a while back did a video on DIY duck hunting blind for public land, and that video has gained quite a bit of traction as far as just the non-Hurricane Harvey videos. That one I think is doing the best, and somebody wanted us to make one, so I made one earlier today and sending it out to them, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes it's you don't know which videos are gonna take off. I mean, really, my lift video on my Jeep, which that one I would have anticipated to be a good one. Like, it has some of the worst footage for like the first half of the video. It's some of like my worst footage of all time, but yet it's still probably my #1 video. I think it's over 27,000 views right now. I don't know if people are just skipping to the money shots, because when I do the walk around, there are some actual good shots of the Jeep all lifted. But yeah, I mean, the front end sucks.
Yeah, I had one video over Hurricane Harvey go a little bit viral, and it got like 15,000 views in the weekend. Now it's up to like 1,000. But that's the most on mine right now. And
it just takes
making money, because Craig had mentioned, I don't even care about making money on the videos. And I do and I don't, because there's part of me that's just like, I'm just doing this for fun. I like hanging out. I've met a lot of really cool people. And then another part of me is like in the back of my brain going, what if you could actually build a brand off of this and turn it into something? And who knows, maybe I will eventually, maybe not. It's probably less likely than it is likely, but at that rate, still there's the possibility. So may as well try to do something with it.
James, I know my Jeep doesn't suck. I was just talking about the video, the footage that sucked. It's like, I love that thing. Well, I think I've said it before. It's like the crazy ex-girlfriend is what I call it. It's like all my friends are telling me I need to break up with her, and I'm trying to convince them that it's different this time. That no, she's cool as heck. That's what I keep saying. My
Changed.
Jesus.
She changed.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to break up currently. No, and like you said, Yoshi, so like, Diesel Brothers on Discovery Channel, they launched, I mean, that show doesn't exist if they didn't do, well, they were doing the giveaways, but it's their YouTube notoriety that got them noticed by Discovery Channel. And there's other channels out there that have talked about it. 1963 Impala talked about how some TV show approached, or company approached him. He declined, and I think it's Musty One, same thing. And they declined because all of the terms and agreement, the stuff that they read through just didn't sound like it was the right fit. Like they didn't get out of it as much as they thought they should, and rightly so. But again, YouTube's just such a great vehicle for growing a brand, like you said, Yoshi. And for me, honestly, if it wasn't, like, I can't sit here and say it's not about the money at all, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't do videos. I can't justify tripling how long it takes you to do things. Like we talked about, a 15-minute task that's recorded for 15 minutes and 15 minutes of editing, that kind of idea. Like, I mean, even though I enjoy it and it's another hobby of mine, like the video stuff's another hobby on top of it, I couldn't justify. I would pump out more projects.
Yeah,
if I didn't think I could.
And while I don't expect to sit here and make a living off of it, it'd be nice to like cover some of the expenses from actually doing it,
Right.
I've spent, I don't even know, like it's not a lot, but bought channel stickers and I had several books of stamps for mailing all out and whatever. And it's in this year, actually, 2018. So come 2019, when it comes tax time, I'm going to go ahead and call this a business because, it is.
Yeah. 2017 is the first year I'm going to claim this on taxes, because I set up a new tax ID number specifically for the Google AdSense. So I have to, but that's why I also keep track of video equipment I buy and things like that. So similarly, this year, I mean, my new camera, like I didn't pay for my new camera solely off of YouTube stuff, but it's a lot easier to put $600, $700 down on a camera when $100 of that is coming from YouTube. So I'm not made of money, and it's just like you said, it's just a way we can do more projects because of the extra income. And it's not that I don't think I'll ever have a YouTube channel that will solely fund my projects, but I mean, I always talk about Greg, my coworker. He was talking about he hasn't even done anything on Greg's Garage in probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, but because he's at like the 35,000 subscriber mark over there, like his truck payment is basically paid for by his YouTube income. So I mean, think about that.
Hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. Oh. All right, I'm going back and forth, reading comments and shooting the shit here. So sorry if word silences.
Yeah. Mr. Mach 1, I think that's really cool. I've thought about the same thing. Is like, because I just thought about this, because YouTube's added income, like I believe solely in giving away 10% of my income. And so I just got the thing is like, well, now what am I going to do with 10% of my YouTube revenue? And I started thinking the same thing. I'd like to do things that are more like, Eric the Car Guy tried to do this series of, which really cool channel if you don't know what I'm talking about, where he goes out and he uses his automotive skills to like help people in need. Like maybe it's someone's minivan's window regulators broke. He just fixes that for them. And so he uses his YouTube income. And I want to start doing, more like significant giveaways too, with, at the year end with 10% of what I make off of YouTube. Absolutely.
And that's kind of why I started off going the route that I have with the giveaways so far. The 100 subscriber giveaway was a sculpture I made, so I didn't have to, put a cash into it. just time. The 500 subscriber giveaway, the camera, that was kind of a side part to a Craigslist deal that I did. And then I was like, well, I've got GoPros and other stuff. And then the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, you know, while it's not, well, actually, depending on what route it goes, it could cost a significant amount of money, but it just, who wins and what they want to do.
So Ignited, I like your comment on the never say never. I kind of take the same approach of I don't think this thing will ever be my full-time job, because I also don't think that YouTube's going to, I mean, I think about maybe 15 years down the road, I don't think YouTube's going to, there's no way it's going to be the same thing we know it as it is today. Like, and that doesn't mean that there's not like there might just be somebody out YouTube's YouTube, or, you know, it's just, I think, you know, there's no way that this thing's going to stay sort of what we know it for like 15 years. But that all being said, I'm not afraid to see where it might take me too. And then Craig's got a question for me, but Yoshi, I didn't know if you had anything to add on that.
No, go ahead. You can wield Craig's question.
Craig's question's more about just the local folk to him, and the people I would know in Baldwin City, Kansas would both be relatives through my wife's side. So,
Gary, I just saw your comment on that YouTube is banning channels for shoutouts, and I don't even understand how that could be the case. Like, what would be the hurt in saying, hey, go check these guys out, they're awesome, because, you know, they're part of this group, or that doesn't even make sense to me. I haven't heard of that, but that's wild.
Yeah, that seems a little fishy to me too. And I would think, though, I mean, so if your community, like, well, I forget what they call it, but like if you don't have any strikes against you, I would think it'd be people who've already sort of had some sort of strike against them or something, but I don't know. I do know this has been getting crazy and like out of control. The amount of, you know, people were doing some probably things that YouTube didn't want you to do through that period there we just got through. But I don't know. That seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, Drive Shaft Drew, that's true that, you know, you can't totally depend on it, but what can you depend on for income other than what's already in your pocket, you know, whether you're working for a company or YouTube or whatever. You just kind of have to do what you got to do to get by. And not that I do this to get by, obviously, because I don't know too many people that can live on $60 a year.
Yeah, I would disagree with kind of that same thinking that DeQueen Salvadores is dropping in there. I don't know why you can't. People are obviously making it. People make six figures doing this. So to say that that's a hobby, if you make six figures off of a hobby, you know, like it's not for me. I don't have the time to invest in that. It is a hobby for me, but I wouldn't try to say never. I don't that's uncomfortable to me to put it in those terms.
Yeah, you know, and it's totally a hobby for me right now, but if I can make money off of it and if I end up growing, hey, why not?
Yeah, if I could make the same amount of money I make for my day job doing this, and I was working on like muscle cars all the time, heck yeah, I bet you I'd be doing this. So,
what other kind of questions you guys got?
yeah, a website could crash tomorrow, but just like you said, Yoshi, like the people you and I work for, like people could be doing like, so I work for an architecture firm. Let's just say the leadership, who I actually trust like a lot, if they were doing some shady financial things and I go to work on Monday and turns out like the feds or something closed them down and seized all assets, I'm out of a job too. Like my day job, just because it's a physical thing, could crash tomorrow too. Like it's, I mean, and I think we're getting to a day and age that as a utility or whatever you want to call the internet, it's a pretty reliable thing. I'm not saying the internet will never crash, but I don't know. We have almost 2 decades of consistency, I guess I will say at this point.
Yeah, that's right, Craig. There are so many servers, and for those of you who don't know, I actually work in the IT field, I guess you could say. I basically install and somewhat edit software for credit unions. So that's why I work from home. I just sit in front of a computer all day and look at code and talk to bankers. But with any big website, there's multiple redundancy. So for YouTube to crash for more than a minute or two, that would be pretty crazy. So I saw a question earlier. What would be? I think it was a muscle car, or what kind of car would we want? Like kind of dream car. And there's a lot, because there's different cars for all kinds of different things. Obviously, like I'd like a off-roading. That'd be pretty fun. Something to romp around the sand dunes down at the beach. But the satellite, man, the more I work on it, the more I see it, and the more I see pictures of ones that are done. It kind of has evolved into my dream car.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt here, just really quick. And for Gary, the plans for it, doing a resto mod, and I flip back and forth so many times. A lot of the times it's going to be a naturally aspirated 460 stroker, kind of weekend driver, and sometimes I think about going the blower route and pushing it over 60 per hour and seeing how many tires I can burn through.
I wanted to just say goodbye to Chaos Garage's dropping off, but say hello to My World and OKC for joining the chat. So, but so muscle car for me, if I could pick one, that's that's difficult. I always like things that are a little bit offbeat, that aren't super mainstream, and I'm a Ford guy. But I would say maybe my top, probably 3 Ford builds between the years 1964 and 1979, we'll call it. I'd love to do like a Fairlane or a Galaxy wagon, like a 66 with the stacked dual headlights, like airbag it and just be just a utility cruiser. I'd love to do a Maverick, like a 72 Maverick with like 5-liter in it. And then I've always kind of liked some of those Torinos, like the fish mouth. One of those Fast and Furious videos had one in there. I think it was green. So something like that. I'd like to do one of those too. Yeah, Model A, can't beat the Model A, Craig. That's I mean, I'd really love to do a rat rod someday too. So
every once in a while, when I think about all the other hobbies I have and how long it might end up taking for this, I kind of think about just down and dirty throwing it together just to get it back on the road. But then I'm like, no, I gotta get it done the way I want to do it.
I mean, that's kind of what the axle, and you'll see it on my video that drops at 8:30 tonight. That's what it is. It's the first go around. Well, it was limited skills, but it was rushing through things. But this one's trying to take my time and make it look awesome. So, oh yeah, Cougar, that'd be pretty sweet. Ignited, that'd be pretty BA.
I wouldn't mind even doing like a 40s or 50s, heck, anything, and the big bubbly fenders, and then chop it down, and I think that'd be kind of cool. Hot rod.
Yeah, my rat rod, I would like to take. So being in Kansas and being grown up around the farming stuff, like a lot of these farmers had old 1950s, 40s, and 60s, like the wheat trucks, as we'll call them. I'd love to take like an old 2.5-ton truck and then just cut that thing up and just put the cab on and throw a big gnarly diesel with a ton of torque. Just that's kind of my dream. International. Yeah.
Put some kind of ladder underneath that you can put up to climb up in it. Hey, thanks for joining, Drew. You have a good night, man.
Yep. Later, Drew. I've been rolling in some new subscribers through this, so I appreciate everybody who's been coming over. I'll check your channels out when this thing ends.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully you guys, it hasn't been a huge crowd or whatever, but hopefully you guys have met some other people on either my channel or Grant's, because I know that, or I think that you might have posted that we were going to do this on somewhere or another. Hopefully we can all help each other out.
Yeah, Craig, you're dropping a name. Is that an actual YouTube channel, or is that just like a website or something that I should check out? Is that should I Google that, or should I YouTube search that? Yeah, Gary, you were one of my first subs. That you're definitely in the first dozen for sure.
Gary, you were one of mine too. I can't remember exactly how many, but it was probably in the when I had less than 50. And it was funny too, because when I first started this, I was like, oh, I got a subscriber. Oh, I got a subscriber. And I'd go to Emily and I'd be like, I've got 13 subscribers. And look, this person has like 1,000 and they subscribe to me. Like, it was kind of funny, like how starstruck I was over, somebody with 1,000 subscribers.
Hey, Craig, thanks for dropping that. Yeah, I definitely want to look that up. That sounds like, I mean, I could probably waste a lot of time watching that stuff. I mean, if I had a bigger shop, that's what I'd be doing right now, because you can find those things cheap. The only trick is almost just finding one with a title. Not that you can't get around that, but that saves you a lot of headache and heartache. But yeah, I'd be building one of those today if I had the space. Yeah, Gary, no, going back to, I always tell people who want to jump into the YouTube gang, I was really lucky having Greg as a coworker. So, I mean, I basically had like 40 subscribers, like right off the bat from him, 30 or 40. So, like, not to say that, I mean, it took me a long time to get to 100, even though I went like 0 to 30 really fast, like 30 to the 100 took a long time, but yeah, it was a huge benefit, and I think you probably were in that first wave. So
I got to 100 fairly quickly, and then I kind of leveled out in the 200 to 300, and it just took a really long time there. And I also didn't post a whole lot for a while. It got into hunting season, and I didn't. Went out a handful of times. I went deer hunting, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. I only hunt public land, though. I can't afford a lease and all that stuff. And I don't have land myself. So being on public land, it's pretty tough, and saw a few, just nothing good enough, and nothing worth making a video. And this year's duck season was just really weird. So I didn't post a whole lot through that period. But then when the whole 1,000 subscriber thing came out, I was like, all right, I'm just going to hammer this as hard as I could. And I was really surprised. I mean, in a matter of a few weeks, I gained like, I don't know, something around 400 subscribers.
Yeah, it was impressive to watch you from afar, honestly.
And they were seemingly authentic, because although it's gone up and down a little bit, and there were probably a handful that were like sub for sub or whatever, that they comment and they're like, hey, subscribe to me back or whatever. And I usually do, because it's not going to hurt anything. It doesn't bother me at all to subscribe to somebody. So I don't know if they personally dropped off. It was just from lack of connection or whatever. I don't know how YouTube determines when they're just going to unsubscribe somebody automatically.
Yeah, I tried to stay away from as much from that a whole lot, but there was definitely some along the way, and yeah, I don't know how YouTube really keeps track of that either. But Craig, I've got it in my phone. It's probably not even focusing. Neil's 49, awesome. I can't wait to go watch his stuff. So but actually, Gary, I don't know if this has been out there, and maybe Greg would kick me if I was saying this, but actually kind of quote unquote sad news is he's moving to, we have a Colorado office, and he's going to go help build our office out there. And so he's leaving the KC Metro, and man, I'm going to miss a lot of good laughs with Greg in the office. When I was lifting my Jeep, I went over to his place to use his lift. So it's going to be sad when he leaves the KC Metro, but at the end of the day, good for him too. I mean, it'll be fun watching his channel. Just get a new setting out there. So
yeah. I'm trying to catch up on comments over here. Hey, Paul's Garage, thanks for joining. It's STR8SIXFAN in the title of the video. So STR, the number 8, spelled out, 6 fan. So check them out. Go over there, subscribe.
Yeah. Cheers to the mites down in Aussie. We love you down there. So
I got a question for those of you watching is, when it comes to live streams like this, and when it comes to my videos, and if you're subscribed also to Grant, his videos, keeps you drawn into where you like watch the video? What kind of stuff, what kind of editing, what kind of things do you just go, oh, I'm going to go ahead and just like see this one all the way through? I'm curious about that, because I definitely do want to improve and make content that people want to be engaged in, and comment and subscribe and all that jazz, like always. So always open to ideas.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I'd be interested to see the comments as well. I mean, I keep saying I want to do more of storytelling. I want my videos to just do the storytelling and me talk less. But the video that drops tonight at 8:30, you'll find it's 24 minutes long, and there's too much of me cutting in, talking about here's what I'm, narrating or whatever. And actually, a lot of the stuff and then there's segments in there that are music overlays, but it's my work sped up. And I'm like, man, I want to do less of the talking and more of the actual, like, just showing things. Now, I don't think I'll ever depart from the talking part. You'll always have that to some extent, but I'm always trying to force myself to do less of that.
Yeah. And I've got some videos that are just no editing, no music, no fades, whatever. It's just kind of down and dirty. And then I've got some that are more edited down, a little bit cleaner, have some sped up or time lapse kind of stuff in there, just showing various work and music and that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious what people like more, because I tend to just get in a zone and just do the whatever I feel like doing that particular day. And if you find yourself kind of drawn to one specific type or genre of the videos that I make, then I'm interested to hear it, because I'd like to hone in on that.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at too, is I want to just get back to like content heavy things, through the what do we want to call that period, Yoshi, of the partner program fallout. I feel like we need to give it a catchy name.
Give it a name.
Yeah.
Something clever.
Yeah. Well, we'll throw that to the subconscious and come up with something. But
it's gonna show up. All right, here you go. This is a secret giveaway. When you see the secret hashtag about the name for for that time period, PM me or comment below, and you'll get some prize. I don't know what it is. Maybe it'll be my needle nose player sitting behind the computer.
I feel like, you know, alliteration's always good. Like partner program apocalypse 18 or something. I don't know. So, but you know, like I was just focused on just record, man. Just put something out, just record. And there's what is it? The guy's like called like creators. There's one, you know, a guy spawned off. It was a YouTube channel like meant to help out YouTube channels, but he was definitely taking advantage of that situation. It was like YouTube creators, or I don't remember, but it's through TubeBuddy. It's one of those guys, and you could go on these live chats. And you could have your channel reviewed, and so he reviewed mine. And one of the first things he said was like, he liked my logo, but he's like, so I'm just going to try to guess what your channel's about by looking at your logo. He's like, I don't know, pool? Are you into pool or something? He's like, and then his second thing was, or straight sixes. That's like no like identity. As he looked at those, like, you know, the most recent 5, nobody would be able to tell what my channel was about. And that's why I'm kind of trying to refocus and get back to like doing content heavy videos. But hey, Paul, thanks for the sub. I'll check out your channel as well. And yeah, cheers.
I kind of like the live chat thing too, because being able to interact. I've got to get a little bit of flow. I'm really tired too. I don't know if I seem more out of it than usual, but I slept about scatterbrain today.
Yeah, see, Craig, you get it. So I appreciate it. I've got some things that I'm trying to touch up with my channel as well. Branding, like the Pistons logo. This is sort of a secondary logo. I have a new intro screen that I'm still working on. I paid somebody through Fiverr to do a new intro screen, and I wasn't super excited about the results of what I paid for. So I'm sort of dorking with that some too.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, like, I've just got my little car engine starting with a bunch of still images, and I dig it, but I might be changing that up here pretty soon too.
Well, I got to be honest, I should probably get going here in the next 5 minutes. So if you guys have any last...
Time seems to fly when we're on these things, but yeah, I probably need to get rolling myself. So what do you guys think? Any last questions for either me or Grant? Anything you want to know about what's coming up, what we've done, or how many gray hairs I have over here?
Let's see if I don't know if mine show up, but I've got like a pool somewhere.
You got a couple. I got you beat by 5. You got a few.
Well, of course.
When's the next live stream? That's a good question, because Grant and I have been kind of contemplating about making this maybe a weekly deal. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm not 100% sure. I think we'll figure it out as we go, but maybe next Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah, that would probably be the most likely. I'm trying to think if I'm traveling next. No, I think I'm good. But yeah, I would say come April, things will look a lot different, I think, in April for me. But yeah, I want to do another Know Your Neighbors bit, get to know another channel like Get It Garage or The Open Air Garage, someone like that. That feels like, I kind of joke, like, Yoshi, I think I said this on when I had you on. You know, we're like, I feel like we're in this sort of like graduating class of YouTube. Like we're coming up through the ranks together at the same time. So I want to try to touch as many people that I feel like are in similar spots with their YouTube channels as you and I are.
Yeah, definitely. And there's going to be constant, roll turnaround, I guess you could say, where um, channels are fading out and new ones are coming up and what have you. But I think Chaos Garage, he's back just in time for us to wrap up here. But I think it seems like there's, I don't know, maybe about 50 or 100 channels that I have that I really feel are like this solid group that I'm kind of like in that graduating class and just looking to graduate now.
Yeah, Chaos would be a good he would be a good Know Your Neighbor candidate. So Chaos, let me know if you'd be up for like in April being a guest on my Know Your Neighbors segment. And we'll get that set up. Because I reached out to, I don't remember who it was. Idle Garage. And he's like, yeah, sorry, man. I'm not really into the vlog thing. And I'm like, well, it's not like a vlog. It's like a pod. It's like, okay. It's, I like the way he wrote it, like, and no offense to him or anything, but I was just kind of like, okay, I did not see that coming. But then, that doesn't, it makes sense. Everybody's got different, everybody's got different comfort levels, and there's nothing wrong with that either. So, hey, Chaos, well, then I will send you a message in the messenger, and we'll coordinate that and figure out what works.
I think we should maybe all kind of get in on the whole Know Your Neighbor thing and do some interviews with it. So if you're interested in maybe doing a live stream and with me also, then maybe we'll just add a hashtag and throw them in some playlists on both of our channels, and we can both get some of those up there and do some interviews and kind of get to know each other better. Like we know each other basically through the snippets on our videos and every once in a while these live chats, and it's kind of cool that this environment gives us the chance to actually be friends and get to know each other better. So may as well take advantage of it.
And I like Craig thinking outside the box. I mean, let's just get everybody in this thing. So that'd be fun too sometime. Although we might be talking over each other a lot, but I still want to do a Know Your Neighbors but live version, Craig, with you and Hard Knocks Forge. Figure out a way sometime to do an episode with the three of us, maybe in my garage or something. So let me know if you'd be down for that.
Oh yeah, you guys are all up there together. Cool. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you guys hopping on. We've been rolling for about an hour now. So if you're watching this later, go check out STR8SIXFAN Grant over there if you haven't already. He's got a great channel. And don't forget, cool shit.
Peace out.